Hello everyone, welcome back to Infinite Rails. As the title suggests, there have been some updates lately, and we'll get into those pretty quick. But first, we just dropped off a load of lumber. I think we should uncouple our train, and we'll get this engine turned around. Let's see, we're facing backwards, so we need to go backwards. And you can already see one of the updates right now. They've added sanders. Now, as far as I can tell, I haven't been able to make this thing wheel slip, but apparently that's a thing now. Maybe it's weather dependent. Yeah, we're lined into the table. We're probably going a little fast. Might want a little bit of brake as we... Where'd the table go? Drake, where's the table? Well, that's inconvenient. Because, now we gotta... we gotta delete the engine and we lose all the fuel and we have to buy all the fuel again. Or... we can do this. Ta-da! And look, now we're even facing the right way. We didn't lose any of our fuel. I suspect if we look at our odometer... does this one have an odometer? The other one does. But if it did, I'm sure it would show the same mileage as from before. So, yes, we now have re-railing. And I do want to play around with that, because I want to know, if you derail a loaded freight car, does it keep its load afterwards? When you had to delete it, then it lost the load. But if you re-rail it, is that the case? And I guess we should probably do something about the table. Fortunately, another nice little update is that you can now snap your turntable to pre-existing track. Beforehand, you could not. Ta-da! Okay, let's get our engine started up and we'll head back to the consist. So, just adding re-railing, I think, is a nice mechanic. They still don't have overspeed derailments. But re-railing's a good mechanic, and turntables is a really good mechanic. Now, there's not too much else on the operational side, as far as running trains. Most of the other ones involve construction. So we'll get into that pretty quick. First, we'll go ahead, we'll knuckle into our train, and that way we'll be ready for the next loads, whenever that is. Oh yeah, they also added this handy feature so that you can teleport to trains. Or at least you can see where they are, and then you can teleport to them there. I guess you can teleport, see? So now we're at this guy. It is kind of bugged, because I had one of my passenger cars get lost, and it just ended up in a random spot. And yeah, it's just gone, and I can't get rid of it. I lost the whole train that way. You can see that our sawmill is starting to look kind of thin, our logging camp. We're probably going to have to go find a new one pretty soon. But this is a good time to point out another fun, nifty little feature. We now have grids. So I can now set this to a grid. Now, that grid does seem to be... I think it's aligned to the world. Or you can align the grid to the item, which is kind of cool. And it tells you what angle you're at, which is nice. Now, it would be nice if you could do it in increments better than, like, 1 or 2. But you can set the size of the grid, so how far away you want things to be. So that's pretty nifty. Yeah, it seems to go in turns of 2 degrees, which is not quite so nifty. Let's get this to, like, yeah. And the thing is, I have to press the arrow key each time to get the rotation, which is also kind of annoying. Still, you know, being able to set your signs to a certain angle is kind of nice. So it means I can do stuff like this. And now I know that sign's going to be pretty well aligned to the track. Now, one thing now, let's see, what else was there? There's quite a few changes. It says they've added a gravel floor building tool. I mean, we do obviously have, you can lay gravel ballast. I'm not sure where the gravel floor is. Oh, here we go, gravel floor. So how does that work? Oh, well that's cool. Okay, and then you can, like, plop your buildings and such down on top of it. Okay. Is there a grid for the gravel floor? I think we need to go mess with this some more. Let's come over here. I'm actually enjoying this now. There's flat and there's angled. So this is angled mode. So, okay, so angled, it's gonna, like, follow the terrain, it looks like. More or less. And flat, it's just gonna be flat. It does not carve the terrain, it looks like. Okay, okay. Oh, and one more thing. And this one I think everyone's gonna like. If you go, you can do this in either regular view or 3D view. If you click F6, contours. It doesn't seem to tell you what the elevation of the contour is, but you can now actually see the contours and follow the map. And I think that's going to make it a lot easier to do things like track building. You can actually see where your terrain is going up and down. In fact, speaking of which, let's pop into the map. I've been thinking about extending that new line we built over this way somewhere. And I think now's a good time to do that, especially since we can go straight back to our train when we want to. So I think the plan was to come this way, down, over this river, and that put us at the ocean. Yeah. And then we had this big water body we could follow. Which we were already kind of by the northern end. But yeah, I think so we want to try and get over here. Oh, that's not what I meant to do. Add a waypoint for... I'm just gonna call this the something narrows. And there's a way to make them visible in the main view, but I don't remember what it is off the top of my head. So it does look like we're going to be possibly going up and down a bit to get there. Let's add a waypoint here, too, for the mill. Now, I don't remember what the... Oh, we fell through the map. It'll be fine. Okay, oh yeah, and then you can teleport yourself to waypoints. That is pretty handy. Although that scrolling through the list is kind of slow. I think they need to do something about that. I guess you can click and drag. Let's try this again. There we go. And do I have a spare engine? Yeah. We're gonna leave the spare engine here. So let's head to the end of track. And we'll see about making our way. Oh yeah, one more big thing is they finally fixed the bug with sawmills where they would charge more for logs than anyone would pay for them. Or charge more for lumber. So you can now haul lumber at a profit again. And sometimes it's a big profit. Sometimes it's not. That just be the way it be. But we want to get to the skill kit narrows. I can't remember which one it was that assigned waypoint. That's your... no, that's fog. That's your chunks. That's your compass. Okay, here we go. So we need to get over there. Now, if we go into our track... There is another feature that's really kind of nice. Okay, we do have the grid still. We're gonna ungrid... Nope. Didn't mean to do that. And that's the elevation. You'll notice it's now giving an elevation in percent. So we can now actually figure out how steep our track is. I think it might be a little bugged because that looks a little... not as steep as I thought. But that's okay. We will work with it. But if I do want to try and keep this to like a 2 or 3% grade, our engine has plenty of power. And there's probably going to be quite a bit of checking the map back and forth. Make sure we're going the right way. Yep. Look at this, though. Okay, so I think I do want to go that way. Yeah, definitely I think still a little bugged. It's going straight from 3 to 0, negative 3%. Might be also because of the length. Still, you know, just little bugs. Nothing super bad. Is this still the right way? Yes. So clearly, if you take a look, that means that the contours here are bigger than the ones on the map. The map isn't showing all the contours. That's okay. It's a little tricky, but it's okay. I'm pretty sure we need to go this way now. Okay. Check the map. Yes. We are going the right way. I think we do need to start coming down again. This is getting pretty fun, now that you can actually see what you're doing. And also, they've added this nifty little tool. It's not going to be too much use now, but now we can see how far the track is. And it continues around curves. It's not a single spline. So there's one to do it measuring a long track, and that's going to be so handy when I decide to finally put down mile markers or kilometer markers. There's also a tool to just do basic distance like this. So just with those, that is already such a big thing, if you ask me. I don't think I want to follow the river. Let's keep going with our construction. We're going to do concrete for the abutment. Oh, I'm doing horizontal ends. I keep forgetting to do that. So, track's going to be a little bumpy. We'll do a wooden bridge across. Another concrete abutment. Oh, no, that didn't catch. Okay, so we're going to need to come up. I'm going to change that to by terrain. Now, in shorter areas, you can, if you do like a big change in elevation, you can see the difference in slope between them. And sometimes one's steeper and sometimes the other is. It's kind of weird. In this case, though, we're going far enough. So we do need to be ready to make that sharp curve, though. So we're gonna start coming up. But then we gotta make the turn. So I think the next thing I would like to see from the devs, and this is not a criticism of the devs, I'm just gonna say, they're doing great work. And I admire them for it, but how about something for curve radius? I think that could be good. Oh wow, were we like below water level down here? No, I think we were just... I'm not sure what was going on there. Maybe we were. I think we were, actually. Wow. Well, that's interesting. So now I want to follow the river and see what those contours look like. No? No. Well, that's kind of interesting, the way those contours are working. We should be going up that whole way? I don't know. Whatever. So my target here, I think, let's look at our map. It's going to be kind of hard to follow the shore on this side. I'm thinking we follow the shore on this side. And then we can put in like a big harbor here. Oh, this water body doesn't go as far as I thought, at least in this direction. Or was there another one? I don't know. Maybe we actually want to get over here. Nah, I think we do want to come over here and we'll put in like a city. Or maybe this is the upper end of the city and we'll continue the line that way. Yeah. Let's see if I can start a high bridge here. Or higher bridge. Across this spit. Yeah, you can tell I'm starting to enjoy this now. Of course, now I have to figure out how to get my track up here, because I think this is going to be a pretty high elevation change. Yeah. Yeah, I'm already at negative 3%. I'm going to have to go down to like 5. Oh yeah, that's a lot. I don't like that, but for now we might do it. Another wooden bridge. Keep the pain. Man, building railroads is hard. I mean, I should know that. That's kind of my day job, but... we'll do a stone wall here. Or maybe I'll just come back and rebuild some of this. Come on. Get your link point. Yeah, definitely still a couple little bugs with the grade. And that should work for now. I guess we could put in a sign here. Oh yeah, they also added more platform pieces. So we've got like a ramp, a very steep ramp. I don't think OSHA's gonna like that. I don't think ADA is gonna like it either. That's a longer ramp. ADA's not gonna like that either, but it looks a bit better. And even some little corners and such. Don't entirely get how the Tetra works. I think I need this one first. Okay, yeah, and then you'd put in another corner or something right here. I'm sure the people who do lots of custom building are gonna love that. In my case, not so much. Now, I don't really know why I'm building all this, because I don't have anywhere to go yet. I don't have enough money to build another industry. I mean, I could do a freight depot, but I'd rather get more equipment. Especially since we will have to build another logging camp pretty soon. Maybe that's what I'm building towards. If we find a bunch of trees, maybe that's what I put down. Let's get back in the fly mode. Start bringing this down. Check our map. Let's actually just go up and take a look. See how flat things actually are. So that's a bit of a ridge. It's reasonably flat along here. And this, I think, is the other water body I want to head for. So I actually need to kind of blow through this ridge. And then it's a pretty straight shot. Is this the same body of water? Oh yeah, I'm looking the wrong way. That is the same body of water. I meant to be looking different way. Where's my where's the bridge? Okay, there's the bridge. Psst. Hey map, you're supposed to be looking now. Yeah. Supposed to be loading in now. Okay, this is actually... So it is actually something of a straight shot over to that lake. Looking around the lake, though... The map makes it look a lot flatter than it is, I think. Let's spawn in some more of the area. But this is a nice forested area. We could definitely have a branch coming up here. Fairly steep one. Yeah. I think if we come down here, we could put in a town. And then we'll put in a lumber camp up there somewhere. So let's try for that. Oh. So this is going to be... We'll put in the waypoint. Okay, I can delete those two. And now we head back to Silken Narrows. So I actually don't want this curve. I want to keep that track up. I think I need to keep it up on the embankment. And then I think I also need... Well, no, I can start bringing it down. Let's see, if we do the math, I should be able to drop 2 meters and 2 meters. I mean, yeah. The percents might be a little off. Because that's a 200 meter thing, so if I go 2 meters and 200 meters, that's a 2% grade. So I think they're missing a decimal point in that elevation. That's actually kind of good to know. But now we're coming back up. Not really what I meant. Okay. Let's actually... No, I'm gonna go back. We're gonna go around the hill. Cut through this gap. about a 2% grade. Now I'm not sure how steep that part is. Build somewhere to actually tie up our railroad, and then we'll go from there. I guess I could grid snap this. We can flatten all this out, actually, with the parallel tool, come to think of it. We'll just do this. Make an artificial flat spot. And then just not recarve it. See, if you know what you're doing in this game, you can do some pretty cool stuff. I'm gonna make... this track our end track. And so we'll put in... supposedly they've got a new platform that goes in between two other platforms. Don't see it, unless I'm just, like, dumb. In the notes it says, for the previous one, added new platform blocks specifically designed to fit perfectly between tracks separated by a large switch. And when they say a large switch, I'm assuming what they mean is you do something like this. And then there's a platform piece that goes right here in the middle. But all the platforms I'm seeing look too big for that. Which I guess makes sense, because that's not much space. Oh, maybe that's... oh, wait. Hang on. Hang on. There we go. That's what they mean. Although, I don't think that's how that works. I think that looks like it's also a little bit bugged. It looks like it should fit, but it also looks like it's not snapping to the track properly. Oh, well, that time it worked. I wonder what happened. So why did that work? Oh, yeah, okay. So you do have to do it to the right part. Okay, okay. Now I see it. Now I see. So when you're placing the platform double, just be a little careful about where you're placing it, I guess. And we'll just put in like a reverse loop here. Did I use the right switches? Hang on. Something here didn't go quite right. That should be a right and a left. Maybe I used small ones by accident. Yeah, okay. Yeah, just used the wrong turnout. That's all. False alarm. So now we'll do a pretty sharp curve. I'm going to put in a small lefty turnout. Some more tangent. And then we will make a hard turn the other way. Maybe not quite, maybe not too hard. I think we got some space to work with. Oh, I did not make that anywhere near big enough. Yeah, that's gonna be an issue. Of course, it does look like it's adding tangents in the middle, so maybe that's part of it. Let's do this. How about this? I don't think we need the platform to be quite that big, so let's build this one first. I'm gonna delete a couple platform pieces. And then we'll put in track. Yeah, and then we can put in a yard here, I think. So let's make that, nope, left inside lever. And then I'm going to parallel these. We'll put them a little further off, like 7 meters. Up. I think the game just crashed. The game has in fact crashed. Please stand by. Okay, we're coming back. So let's see where it left us. Okay, so we don't have the loop built. That's okay, because we need to redo that anyway. Let's put that about here. And this is just going to be a turnaround point for passenger trains, I think. Because ideally our freight trains are going to branch off into the mountains somewhere. Or maybe they'll branch off over here somewhere. We could look and start figuring that out. But for the time being, let's just focus on getting our turnaround figured out. Yeah, the way the curved splines work, I'm sure that's just the consequence of how you do splines in games. It is a little annoying. Yeah, and I'm sure, like I said, I'm sure we'll probably end up redoing this later. Okay. Save. Continue. We'll do the parallel again. Can I get to 7 meters? 7 meters. And then we'll do this one at 5, 6, and 5, 6 again. Fairly close tracks. This is just meant to basically be a storage yard, so I'm not too concerned. And I think I'm actually gonna, let's change this so that this one becomes the main. Those curves are actually a little jank in their radii. Let's make bigger turnouts. No. I think that was actually worse. Something like that. Yeah. I guess the other thing we could do is we could keep... Yeah, it doesn't really matter which one's the main. We're not going to be running here much. I'm going to put in a branch here so that if we do end up going this way to get towards the sawmill, we'll put that further back. right. Oh no. Maybe a little more tangent, a little more straight, then our righty. And now let's see what our grade is to get up to existing from here. 3.5%. That is kind of ugly, although it looks like our track is dipping and then coming up, so maybe what we actually want to do there is delete that. And let's bring that up a little more. I'll put in a bumper so we can hold what our position was. Maybe we'll do that with a horizontal end so it levels out. Keep our track a bit higher. And now let's see what happens. Much better. I think that's going to be a much better alignment. We'll replace that turnout. Be able to link that, shouldn't I? Don't know why it's not letting me. Hey, we got an achievement. 10 kilometers of track. And there will certainly be more track to come. And we got a rhinoceros over here that I didn't notice. So we'll lay that one parallel, and then I think the next one we want to just kind of have it do that. What we might actually do then is get rid of that so that this doesn't quite jank out so much. Yeah. Okay. Let's have some fun with this. Actually, can I take this and rename it? No, I think I have to do that from the map. That's okay. Let's decorate this a bit more. For one, let's go with a longer platform. I'm not sure how I'm going to get people onto the platform. So let's maybe make that the next part. Maybe I want short stairs. I don't think that did as much. Can I connect that? I don't think I can. Still, that'll get us over here. And then we can use the new gravel floor tool. It would be kind of nice if this also had a grid, come to think of it. Oh, that didn't work very well. Yeah, that's a little weird because it's not coming all the way over. Let's do one more. Yeah, gravel floor I think might need... That might just be a skill issue on my part, to be honest. But yeah, it is a little wacky. And now let's do a station building. Go with this one. Do the grid, of course. Get it approximately on the track grid. Yeah, we'll just call this town Silkit. I think that's what we call it, the Narrows, right? Skill Kit. That's what it was. Fortunately, we can now rename this. I don't think that was a thing in the original beta. Or the original demo. More buildings would still be kind of nice, but I will not complain too much. Yeah, we kind of went over the edge. That's okay. So we now have our station here. Let's put in a fuel pump on this track. Probably should have tried to align my track to a grid here. But you can now see we have a continuous route for passengers all the way. Or, no. Yes? Maybe? Maybe so. And we could use this to also start stocking this sawmill. In fact, on the note of that sawmill, let's save. Turn off the waypoints, and let's go back to our main train. This will take a moment to load in, I'm sure. Assuming I haven't completely bugged this now. And it's gone. I'm told there's a way to fix that, and that is to delete the track. That doesn't seem to be doing it right now. Possibly because we had the game crash. It says I have another one of these engines, but not cars. Let's fix the track for the moment. That's annoying. So if I pull out another engine, does it say I've got two of them out? Can't remember if I gave myself an extra one or not. Yeah, it does. But the train is clearly not here. That is concerning. Alright. Alright, you know what? We will try the following. I'm gonna save, I'm gonna exit out again. Well, unfortunately, no, that did not fix it. So, yeah, that's kind of frustrating. I think what I'm gonna do then, I might just have to figure out how to delete these out of the game file. But since I do have some stuff, let's head over to the station and we'll do a passenger run. I think we got enough people for that. Also, apparently you can now destroy people. I think that's actually called killing them, but never mind. Cut that out. Let's add more people. And then we'll do a passenger run to the new end of the line. Because I do have three more of these thunder boxes. Might be facing the wrong way. That's okay. Nope, facing the right way. But I did not give myself enough fuel. So, we'll do the passenger run. Get everyone on the platform. I think that's everyone. And let's hop onto the map now. Again, this one seems to be gone, which is annoying. We're not going to stop at Burker. We are going to stop at Ponderosa. We don't need to go up the Y. Alright, I think this is good, so let's Head out. And probably break all our signals on the way, but that's okay. Yeah, something broke there. So, signal resets will be needed later. And there as well, really. How many animals are we gonna clobber? I should see if they can customize this thing. Isn't there a lean? I can't remember. No, there's not. I'm thinking of Railroader. I'm just glad that the cars that vanished were empty. I'd have been annoyed if they were loads. Because, you know, that's a lot of money. Admittedly, I can just go into the game save file and delete it, but it's kind of cheaty. Are we going to make the platform? No. Just overshot the platform. Back up, try again. $79 for a lot of people. Load them back up. And away we go again. Checking the map, we need to go... We want to go that way. And then the next switch will set itself. Hit the crossover. We should probably add the second tractor here at some point. At some point I also ought to check my achievements. I think I have to be paused to do that. Let's take a look. Statistics. Oh, it doesn't tell me the achievements I've gotten in here, but it does tell me... that's still bugged. And that. Yeah, some of this is... some of the stats I think are still bugged. So, according to the game devs, there's going to be a big update at the end of May, and that one's going to add coal mines and something for water, as well as presumably coal cars. And I'm sure that's a prelude to adding steam engines to the game, but I'm not going to complain. But yeah, more stuff to do would be really nice. I do need to set that up. Over that river. Oh, I should clean up that mess. I did end up rebuilding this stretch along here. And yeah, here's the bridge. Still a bit of a gradient up to it, but not as bad as before. There's our other sawmill. I don't think I named that. No, yeah, I did. OLC mill. Up, station. Too late. We're going past this one. We're going all the way to Silkit. We'll stop at this one on the way back. Yeah, I think the idea is that this is a branch line, which happens to hit both of the sawmills. And then we'll add a logging camp up in here somewhere. Possibly a couple. That way we can do some nice short log hauls if we want to. Might add some other industries because since we're on a pre-made map, the coal mines and such won't spawn. So I'll have to plant those myself. Across the Narrows. Man, this would take a lot longer in the little engine. We're going more than twice as fast. Kick off the regulator. Start braking. Yeah. You know, as much as I knocked railroads online for making you add your own buildings and such, I'm starting to see the appeal of it. So, hopefully this game gets some more buildings and such. Although, then again, this eventually, this game is supposed to just spawn towns for you to connect. So maybe, maybe not. We'll see. I think I made my platform long enough. Yep. $236 a piece for like 36 people. So that was actually a pretty good chunk of change. That is more than we make hauling freight normally. We'll go around the loop and then we'll take everyone back. Ah, I missed it. Oh, hang on. I'll get back in the train shortly, but first I gotta fix that. Turn off the grid. Go, save, continue, go back to my train. There we go. We're gonna customize this to be that. Any War of the Worlds fans out there? That's a bit of a sharp corner. And this time we will try and stop at the other spot. I kind of missed it this time. Could fit so many more people on this train if, you know, the cars held more than like 10 each. And away we go again. Slam through that switch. Now, I do think the passenger pricing is based on straight line distance. So because we've got, you know, the kind of up and around and down bend, I don't think I'd be making as much if I didn't make the intermediate stops at Ponderosa, as if I were to just go from Thorny Lake to Skilkit. I'm not sure what the second gauge is. Is that like your... Okay, so that's your auxiliary, I guess. That'll tell you how long it takes to recharge your brakes. I know. We'll kill the throttle because I know we're going to have a stop before too long. Start knocking down our speed so that we don't overshoot the platform too badly. I don't run this section of the line very much. I mean, you saw I just built the dang thing, so... yeah, it's just gonna be right there. So, hard brake. Poor people in those thunder boxes without suspension, getting thrown around. Okay, 119 there. Let's continue on to Ponderosa. And then we need to do some math. It was 236 from Ponderosa straight to Skill Kit. What is it with the intermediate stop? I need to get some friends in here and we could do a big multiplayer session. Or do I get Jacob and Caleb and Hans, or do I get Angry and Midland in general? I don't know. We'll have to think about that. Get some pictures for funsies. Oh, no, wait. I did want to go that way. Oh, no. Well, that's okay. We'll go to this other station instead. And then from there, we'll go straight back to Thorny Lake. It does mean I'll need a run around. This one somehow got stuck on red, even though it should be set up properly. So I need to reset it at some point. Up. Slow to 60. We did not slow to 60. I should probably put warning signs. At some point, I'm sure I'll put in the kilometer signs, too. What? What? When did that happen? Well, whenever that happened, it was quite dramatic. Well, I guess now we gotta find out if there's still loads in these. That. Those cars are looking suspiciously empty, though. So I think the answer is no. Yeah. We could have some fun testing that, actually. Let's get to the next station and we'll do some testing. So, big oops there. Oh, do I still have all my hoses open? Probably. Really? You didn't close the hoses? When you re-rail? Okay, that's annoying. So you'll unload the cars, but you won't close the hoses. Oh, you still have a hose open. Okay. Handbrakes, maybe? No. No. Oh, maybe the rear car has a hose open still. No? What's going on? Oh. There's a lot. There's a lot going on. Okay, are we ready to go now? Okay, I only put a platform over there on this one. Again? Where's this break? Here, let's just... What's going on here? What happened there? Here. That's kind of impressive. Wouldn't you agree? But seriously, okay, why... What was the bad connection there? Alright. Re-rail. Now, admittedly, I am about to run this off the end of the track, so... So I'm not too concerned about fuel, but let's see. So we close that. We deleted the car, so we don't have to worry. We shouldn't have to worry about anything there. Just gonna... Where's the reverse? Yeah. Yep, okay. So let's do some testing now. We'll just load it. We'll just spawn a few people. We open the doors to board them. And now what I'm gonna do, end of track. Oh, end of track here does have a bumper. Let's resolve that temporarily. Let's save in case we, you know, break the game. But you can see there are people in here. So now we go to forward. Yep. Crank up the throttle. Let's hop in here and just see what happens to the people when the train inevitably derails. Well, we got kicked out of the car, so it's kind of hard to say. And I accidentally just told it to re-rail. Okay, I mean, it looks like the people are still in there, yeah? So what? So is it only when you re-rail that they vanish? Yeah, okay. So if you derail something, technically you still have a load, but then the re-rail, you lose the load. Alright. That is worth noting. So basically you're going to lose your load when you derail. Sorry. Bearer of bad news. Oh, and I just threw an engine by track underneath. Okay. Let's get you back where you belong. We will load up with people again. And try to go back to the right spot. And hopefully not derail again. As many people as I can spawn. There's a lot of people who want to take a train ride today. Even with our railroad's rating, I don't understand it. Alright, once we get back to Thorny Lake, we'll see what happens next. Yeah, they probably are the same people that would write the ES&DT, Garion. Considering how well these cars went flying earlier. Open the doors. Almost all the people, as you can see. I wonder how it decides which people ride and which people don't. Okay, well, let's see if we can make it back to Thorny Lake without another spectacular derailment. Actually, maybe we do want to go on the other track. We know that one's working. Let's find out. And once again, ignoring speed signs. Further proof that we are the ES&DT. Or I guess this is all German stuff, so the ES&D lie. I think that's how the story went. These signals don't have any detectors on them, so they won't do anything. They are purely aesthetic. man, now I kind of want to relay these tracks with the new tools and see how bad they are. Maybe at some point I should try day-night cycle again. Sharp turn here at the bridge. If they ever implement overspeed derailments, I am going to need to figure out what speeds are good where, and that's going to require a lot of testing. And I'd probably just rebuild that part. How do we want this? We want this just as it is. So through that part of the Y, low past this station. I keep forgetting I need to adjust how I do the volume for this game versus Railroader. This game's a lot louder. And again, start braking. And the signal that spawned out of nowhere and was red. Well, it was green and then it became red. Yeah, whoever made this map, they did a really good job with it. $145 a person, that's not terrible. Unfortunately, it looks like our missing train... Oh. Had a couple missing trains, actually. This one is still missing. So I think I am just going to have to go into the game file and delete it out and give myself more flat cars again. But there you go. That is a summary of all the changes that occurred in this update to Infinite Rails. As you can see, it was primarily construction stuff, but it was really handy construction stuff. I mean, for a lot of the little things, a grid is actually really helpful. Albeit one that rotates by 2 degrees, but, you know, and then you can still, if you want to, snap the track. The gravel floor tool, I think, is going to be fun to give you space to build buildings. I like how with the track, they now measure elevation in degree, or in percent instead of the degrees. I do think that maybe it's, I am thinking that it's off by a factor of 10, so that should be 7% instead of 70%. Yeah, lots of good quality of life stuff. And again, big update at the end of May that's going to add coal mines and water towers, and who knows, possibly some other stuff. Plus, again, a couple other updates that did things like fix the sawmill and add the small stairs. I do think that this is going to be a fun game once it's fully done. Still a couple things to fix here and there, and, you know, the vanishing trains issue is a big one. That is a big bug that I think they do need to figure out. But if you're interested in learning more about the game, you can go find their Discord. If I remember, I'll put it in the description of this once the VOD is uploaded. If I don't, then search Infinite Rails Discord, I guess. But definitely worth popping in there and seeing what's up. Yeah, add it to your wish list or just go buy it. It's not that much. It's, I think, less than 20 bucks at the moment. But in any case, thank you all for joining me tonight. I hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to do the whole like, subscribe, whatever thing if you want to. But until next time, have a good night, go in peace, and take care.